Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Must Play Bonus Round. This is not the typical Must Play podcast format. I'm joined, though, by TJ still, and from the very first episode, Mike, welcome back.
Hello, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, I think we're drinking one tonight for this episode.
One.
It is not your typical episode. This is also, I think, the first time we've ever recorded anything in the evening, hence the beverages.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is that a peanut butter cup porter?
It is a Carl Strauss peanut butter cup porter.
Oh, that's
the last of the season.
Love that beer. Okay, tonight's episode is a unique one. We are going to be talking about the ideal Scottsdale golf trip for buddies coming out in March. Probably the premier time to golf in Scottsdale. Yes, it's the most expensive time, of course, but we see everywhere online people asking, where should I play? What should I do? What's the itinerary? So we're here to tell you what the ideal golf trip is in March. We are going to be planning a Thursday to Sunday, and we're going to go a snake draft order here with TJ starting us off, then Mike, then me, and we're going to go day one across, day two across, etc. We ultimately want the audience, you, to pick who has the best Scottsdale golf trip itinerary. It's going to be heated. I can't wait. And then also, we are going to be kind of going through the total golf at the end of how much you're proposing people pay for this trip, just in terms of golf. As you know, golf out here in March can be ranging from anywhere from $100 to $700, legitimately. So if you're going to pitch a high number, it better be worth it. No cap, though, on spending, correct?
No cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in, not no bullshit. No.
Yeah, you're right.
No
That's
price tag.
Okay. Correct.
Yeah. Real quick before we get into this, why are we the ones to tell everyone what the ideal Scottsdale golf trip is? TJ, first, please.
Oh, well, let me lay out all the credentials here. Born and raised. I think I spent the first 20 years of my life in Scottsdale. I moved away for a year and only lived in Tempe, so not that far away from Scottsdale.
Shame.
Or for maybe 1 or 2 years while I lived near campus while I was attending ASU, and then lived back in Scottsdale until, 3 years ago, until I moved to San Diego. So 34 years of my life have been spent in the Phoenix metro area, with a large chunk of them in Scottsdale. While I was not playing golf for all those, I would also like to think that I have curated a nice bit of knowledge about restaurants, local spots. Anyone can pop onto Yelp and see what your favorite 4.3 restaurant is, or what your favorite bar is to go to in Old Town. But where the sneaky spots to grab a breakfast Sammy or a breakfast burrito, those are going to be tucked away. Those are in here, and those are what you need to know. That's what's going to make the trip successful. It's not the golf. Everyone knows the golf trips, but it's the food and the memories that you make after or before those golf rounds that really
tipping your hand a little bit here.
Yeah, TJ's got me nervous.
Yeah, we're just going to play Coronado every day. 9 holes. As little golf as possible, as much drinking as possible.
Bring cash.
Totally on board.
Card.
Yeah. But Mike, what about you? Can you stand up to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not quite the creator that you guys are, but I have lived down here in Arizona for about, 20 years or so. I spent about 5 years working for an online tea time company we're probably all familiar with. So I've had an opportunity to play a lot of golf courses here in Phoenix, spent a lot of time out on the greens and in restaurants afterwards. So I think I got a pretty good handle of the golf scene, but I should tell you, Shawn knows this about me very much. I am not your really fancy golf course kind of guy. I'm more of a muni kind of everyday. That's not to say that everything on my list is like that, but I'm definitely not a big fancy golf course guy. I just like to go out, play a good course, and drink some beers.
That's why I like you for this pod. I feel like you're going to have some sneaky good recs. Also, whoever's listening, some people are going to be like, I want to go play the highest of the high courses, right?
Sure.
In Scottsdale, the premier ones. And some are going to be like, no, I don't want to spend that much. I'm trying to get off on a budget. So It all plays. Myself, I grew up in Scottsdale, and I still live here in the Valley with Mike. Obviously, we were across the street from each other. And I grew up just down the street from TPC Scottsdale, where the Phoenix Open is. and rented out the house on Airbnb when people came in town in March, and legitimately would tell people what to go do. So I've been dreaming about doing this podcast for a while.
Asterisk
February, yes, but also telling people what to do in March.
I get it.
Yeah. And just to give TJ one more credential, when we worked together in Old Town Scottsdale for a long time, and we saw bachelor parties and bachelorette parties coming in, usually with golf bags and everything else, we were so curious to see what they were playing, and we would sometimes ask, because like legitimately you see it happening all throughout the winter and spring. So
sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. TJ, you're up first. The group is flying in on Thursday and flying out Sunday. That's what we all had to work with.
Okay, so we don't know where everyone's coming from. We're going to assume that a good chunk of your Thursday is going to be travel related. Everyone's got to get in to Scottsdale because that's where we're staying. We're staying in Scottsdale. We're gonna get an Airbnb. We're gonna try and do Old Town, Central, South Scottsdale. Like that's gonna be our hub for where we are going to stay. That is going to be where most of my food wrecks are probably going to come from. Little tip of the hat for later. But I think this is like a good hub. Scottsdale's very centrally located, and it's also just kind of where guys end up wanting to be when they come to Phoenix. So everyone is going to fly in that day. We are going to assume that by the time the sun sets in March, which I think by around March, we're starting to look at like a 6 p.m. sunset.
5:30 to 6, yeah.
Safe, yeah.
5:30 to 6. So we're going to let the sun kind of set around 6. We're going to head over to...
We're going to let the sun set around 6.
Yeah. You do your thing,
We're going to give it permission. We're going to give it permission. Tip of the cap. Sun says, all right, deuces. I'll see you guys later. Have fun at Grass Clippings. So we're going to head over to Grass Clippings.
Wow, great start.
Key here is that this is a lit range. It is lit in the sense of how the kids say, as in it's cool, but it also has lights, which means we can play
lighted
until
range, isn't it?
Does that?
Who can
you
say?
said that? Did that not feel uncomfortable to say?
I mean, it did. But I think it's right.
All right,
I don't like it.
It's a lit par 3 golf course that that they'll let you play once the sun goes down. Now they do have a phenomenal taco truck there. So that's also what we're going to do for dinner. We're just going to cash in everybody there. We're not going to try and round up everybody as people are flying in at different times and try to go to dinner somewhere, or if somebody's flight gets delayed. No, we're going to do it at the golf course. If you need to show up to the golf course, order tacos and get in your cart and start playing, we're done. We're taken care of. This is going to be a good time. It's going to be a little pricey for a par 3 course. It's going to be $125. So I know that's a tough amount to swallow, but I guarantee you that you're not going to have many experiences to play golf at night in your life. So take advantage of it here. And then for a nightcap here, fellas, I know we're in Old Town Scottsdale. I know we're excited to be on the boys' trip. Drink at the damn house. Like, stay in the house.
This is night one.
This is night one. Do not go out. Do not go out on night one.
You got to pace yourself.
I know I'm not laying out all of the whole seed of my trip, but we have so many more things to do. Grab a 30 rack.
Early in this.
Grab a good bottle of bourbon. Stay in the house and get to bed before 1 a.m. and be responsible. That's it. Comments, concerns?
Yeah, I mean, that's a light schedule for, well, being responsible on a guy's golf trip is not, I mean, you do you.
I'm not saying that you I mean, just I've seen way too many people scorn on like actual day one of a trip because they went super ham on like the half night because they were so excited to be away from the wife and kids.
Yeah, maybe they're not ready for a golf trip.
Maybe they're not ready for a boys' golf trip.
Maybe it's golf trip's not for you.
Maybe they should stop listening right now.
All right, Mike. Well, then if you think that you're such an expert. Oh, man.
Hold on. I got some feedback from TJ. I got feedback for him. First of all, great choice on grass clippings on night one.
Thank you.
Okay. Also,
it eases everybody in. You don't have to swing driver. Like,
yes,
no one's going to be like, oh, I flew all day. I was sitting down and I threw my back out trying to drive 300 yards. Like, no, man, you're not going to have to hit anything over a 5-iron.
Yes, agreed. I am always the guy that books too much golf on a golf trip, as we'll probably find out. But
That's true.
It's always a debate. Do you play golf on the day you fly in? And you could say, hey, fly in the morning and we're going to try and get 18 in or whatever. But grass clippings is a great choice because you can fly in whatever time you need, essentially, and still tee off at like 8 p.m. at the latest if you really wanted to.
Yep.
So I commend you on that. The night one thing, common mistake, going hard. Not against going hard on night one, though. Like, sometimes that's the thing I look forward to the most, is because before I even get to Scottsdale, I've already been drinking at the airport. I've been drinking on the plane. I'm ready to go. Like, that's, I don't know.
There's a side note here. Is there a much better beer than a Porty? Just an airport beer?
Ooh, are we ranking beers, like situational
No,
beers?
we should probably save situational beers for another time. But
yeah,
I will put airport beer before a boys trip in my top 3 beers.
It's an all-time
no doubt
beer.
about it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Solid
day one. Go for it, Mike.
I think it's a great day one. All right. So I like the getting in, right? You're going to get in afternoon, right? I think that's obviously, that's a great call there. I'm also staying in like the South Scottsdale, North Tempe area, right? It's super centrally located. You can get anywhere pretty easily from there. So we'll knock that out. Day one, I'm going to go kind of the same idea. You can't get like a full blown 18 in, but you can't get a short course in. And we're going to head over to Mountain Shadows, Scottsdale. Mount Shadows, for those that don't know, is an amazing little short course. Sits right up against Camelback Mountain. Always in pristine condition. It's like a golfer's golf course. It's short. Everybody walks. It's an awesome time. They've got great food, great drinks, everything. So I'm going to start there. That is going to set you back. This is a little high for a par 3 course, but it's great. It's 179. But it is an experience. They've got like a 19th hole or what is it? Was it, Shawn? It's their 19th hole that you could, it's like this long putting green that you can go and settle bets. It's really cool. It's a great experience. There's a hotel there. You can go in afterwards, get drinks. We are not going to do that. We are going to head over to one of my favorite restaurants in town called Chelsea's Kitchen. So this kind of goes to this, we're chilling, right? So kind of what TJ said, it's not head back to the house, but we're just going to go have a nice dinner. They've got these short rib tacos there that'll blow you away. And then as you leave, they've got these like salted chocolate chip cookies by the door that are unbelievable. So
extra salt.
Yes, super salty chocolate chip cookies at Chelsea's Kitchen. So we're going to go there, and then we're going to go chill as boys. We're going to go talk about the day. We're going to go talk about the trip, the rest of the trip, over at Century Grand, right down the street. There's like 3 bars there, but it's this really cool bar. I knew Shawn was going to go there. I know it's in there somewhere. It's this really cool spot that's got amazing cocktails. There's like 3 bars, the one in Phoenix, and they're all like super highly rated. One looks like you're on a train going down the tracks. It's a really cool vibe. So we'll have a couple cocktails there and head home and get some rest for the rest of the trip.
Excellent. Okay, I wasn't expecting Mountain Shadows on day one, but I like that move. But sunset's at like 5:36, so you're assuming, how long is it going to take to get around Mountain Shadows?
2.5 hours, maybe.
Okay, so they got to
2.5, 3,
like 2:30, maybe, or 3.
It's going to be It's going to be a tight squeeze.
Yeah. Okay. So they're assuming, are they going to the Airbnb or the house or the hotel first? Because they have luggage with them, or are they going straight to?
I don't know. You guys, I didn't put that much thought into it, if I'm being honest. I just figured everybody be in around lunchtime or so, and we'd head over to the golf course. I don't know. Okay. You guys are real dialed in here.
Sorry, people who live in Maine. This isn't for you today.
That's right.
I hate you for putting Century Grand on there because I did not put it on my list, but let me tell you, I overthought this podcast and I had probably 5 variations of my itinerary, and Century Grand was in 4 of them. And today I removed it because Jones, who's not on this pod, talked me out of being like, no one's going to want to also then go to Century Grand. He's like, no, Shawn. He's like, you try and plan too much. You need to take that out. And I let him talk me out of it. So I'm upset, but also I'm happy that I don't.
That's all right. Now we're gonna have options now.
Very funny enough, I waffled back and forth on putting a speakeasy in one of my nightcaps, and I was like, is that the vibe? Is that not the vibe? Ultimately, I did not end up going with it. Spoiler alert. I will say if I'm going to nitpick, great choice. Love the Mountain Shadows choice. Love Chelsea's Kitchen. Short rib tacos will double down on that all day. I'm a huge short rib guy regardless, but Chelsea's is phenomenal, and it's a nice setting, but it's not like super nice. So it's just like you could slide in there in still golf attire and it's not
for sure
super weird, right?
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
What I'm going to potentially nitpick is the cool part of Century Grand is the car that looks like you are in an actual train car. Probably a harder reservation to get than any of the tee times that you are trying to book on the strip.
It's tiny.
It's very small. If you've got a group that's more than 8 guys, you're probably not going to get the best, the top tier experience at Century Grand. But I digress.
Yeah,
it's a valid point.
Can you guys tell, by the way, that TJ would be the best person to play in your bachelor party because he thinks through all those little details?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Of like,
I
no,
knew he
dude,
would bring that.
Of being like, no, dude, we have 12 people. They don't have a table in there for 12 people. They'd never allow it. We'd have to sit at 2 different tables. They'd be like, how do you know that?
I would blindly
I could
trust
draw the restaurant from memory.
That's great. That's good insight. All right, Shawn. I'm ready to hear yours.
I can already tell there's going to be so much overlap on our itineraries because my day one's very similar to TJ's.
One's going to show up in all three. I guarantee. There's one course that's going to show up in all three.
That's okay, though. All right. The group's going to fly in by... Oh, by the way, I wrote mine in a bit of a narrative style here because I was having so much fun with this. So,
for those who want to read the full Shawn Massey 3-day Scottsdale trip manifesto, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. We'll post the whole thing for you.
Yeah, Shawn's probably like the average flight lands at 217. So
we'll have it transcribed by an AI David Attenborough.
Let me know what airport you're flying out of. I'll tell you what airlines.
That's right. I know.
Best flights.
All right. The group's going to fly in, let's say around 3 p.m. ish, somewhere in the afternoon, and they're going to head to their Airbnb in Old Town Scottsdale. It's been months since they've all seen each other. Everyone's going to claim a room while someone throws on an NBA game, probably on the living room TV. Okay. Around 5, they run over to Fate Brewing on Scottsdale and McDowell to go have some dinner and local beer. They may order the legendary French dip, the Brat Burger, or my personal favorite, the Jess Pizza, to go with the Fateful IPA or a Keller Pilsner. Both excellent choices from a local brewery. Also, great patio, inside's cool, and it's not far from Old Town. So before the group leaves, someone has a smart idea to go pick up some assorted 6-packs from the beer fridge there. They're going to want beer at the Airbnb, so they bring some of the Fate beer back home. Then the group gets back at the Airbnb. Vibes are at an all-time high. It's day one. They haven't seen each other, and they're buzzing, figuratively and literally. And they get ready and head out to their 7:30 p.m. tea time or 8 p.m. tea time at Grass Clippings. By the way, TJ, you didn't mention this, but Grass Clippings, newly renovated bar, live music on the weekends.
Oh, it's amazing.
Epic scene in the back. Like, since you've been there, they've done so much more to that outside area. Taco truck's still there. Get the quesabirria taco. Thank me later. Extra birria sauce.
I cannot endorse that enough.
Yes. So go to Fate and eat, but leave just a little bit of room like you would for pie on Thanksgiving kind of thing. And then get the quesabirria taco with that room that you've got left over in your stomach. I think you should gamble throughout this whole trip. This is fair wagers after all. So I think this is the perfect course to play a 2-man scramble. And you are already figuring out alliances for the week. So who's gonna be your team for this first round? And are you going to be paired with them again later on if you play that format again? Or is this like for the whole week, like we're lockstep, like, screw these other guys. Let's put them away. But you're going to play that there. And then the group's going to finish around 11. They're exhausted, but luckily it's only a 15-minute drive back to the Airbnb probably. You're going to go straight to sleep, but one or two sickos are going to decide to go for a polar plunge in the pool with one of the beers from Fate Brewing, because there's always that one guy that's going to go take a dip. That's my day one.
Okay. I love that. Fate Brewing sat on my list for the entirety of it until right before this podcast. I love Fate Brewing. So great call there. Grass Clippings. I mean, we all know how great that place is. For anybody listening that hasn't heard of it, if you live in town, like, go check it out. It is the epitome of must play. And then
they built it for basically this. They knew like people coming in town now are going to put this on the list of their trip.
And you can see it when you're flying in from the airport. Like, it's all lit up. It's not. We should say it's not like your normal. It's not like night golf. It's not like they give you a glow ball and you go out there and hit it. It's like it's lit from the top, so you hit your normal golf ball, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
there's actual floodlights. I think most of the time you're actually hitting off of grass. They're not turf tee boxes. Like, it's not any of that. It is like, hey, this is a normal golf course during the day, and then we convert it to a par 3 course at night.
So it's so cool.
Massey, great choices. They're gonna third Fate here. Absolutely love Fate. Fate actually slipped off my list. Also, I don't want to potentially spoil anything for anyone in the future, but Fate also has a phenomenal brunch. A great brunch, and hands down probably one of my favorite Nashville hot chicken sandwiches in Arizona. Yes. Phenomenal. So
I almost put that on here, but I was like, I have
love that choice. If I'm gonna be nitpicky, I'm gonna nitpick the back to the Airbnb before the golf round, just from a timing perspective. Trying to wrangle up that many boys, I have a feeling that guys are just going to bring their bags to Fate. But I know that you probably don't want to bring your bags to dinner, and I know the area around Fate. So,
and bring beer back to the Airbnb, and then also they're not driving. I don't recommend getting a car on this trip. You're Ubering.
No, you're Ubering everywhere.
Especially where you're
Ubering everywhere.
You're Ubering.
Also, thank you for being a normal person and thinking the responsible thing to do is to just go to bed on the first night of the trip.
I'm a degenerate, guys. Go
to bed.
Well, hold on. Are we ready for my day 2?
Oh yeah. I forgot that we get to roll right into your day 2.
Yeah, we're going to Friday now, okay? It's not the responsible thing because, like we said, you had the airport beer, you had some Southwest coupons in your bag that you found, and you had a couple on the flight. You went to Fate, you had a couple IPAs. You went to the Airbnb, maybe you snuck one in before you went to Grass Clippings, and you went to Grass Clippings and you're drinking. You've had plenty of alcohol, okay? So,
I smell a 6 a.m. tea time.
No, that's specifically what I wanted you to think I was going to do. Because what I always do is book too much golf.
Always. Yes.
Not this time, boys and girls. By the way, we've been saying boys this entire pod. Girls, you are more than welcome to go take.
Everybody's welcome here.
100%. I know that we have female listeners, and I apologize for every time I say boys.
But it's still going to happen.
Right.
My first sentence here is, the boys are hungover.
It's part of the trip.
Okay, here we go. Friday. The boys are hungover. They went too hard on night 1. A common mistake. But they don't have to worry, because there's no morning golf to be played. No 6 a.m. They've got nothing but time. Someone suggests Uber Eats, and they all go, oh, yes. Someone orders breakfast from the Breakfast Club. The coffee, the bacon, egg, potatoes, waffles, whatever they get, it hits the spot back at the Airbnb. It all got delivered to them. They're taking the time to get ready. They're talking about last night. They're good. But it is time to eventually play some proper golf. The weather's perfect. They can't believe, some of the dudes from the East Coast can't believe for the Midwest that they can wear shorts in March. So they're throwing on the shorts. And it's around 11 a.m. and they head up to Greyhawk.
Oh.
They check into Greyhawk. They take the golf carts under the tunnel straight over to Isabella's patio for some light lunch or drinks if they're filling up to it before their 12:30 p.m. round on the Talon course, not Raptor.
That's the proper course. That's the players
for a boys trip. Yes,
It's
Also for
the
a boys
better
trip.
course for a boys trip. It's not going to kick them in the teeth as hard as Raptor, and it's adjacent to Isabella's patio. So you take the golf carts as soon as you check in, all your bags and everything. You go straight over there. You go to the patio, go eat, go relax, go have some food.
Your
Whoever
range is
wants
right
to
there.
sneak out and go hit some balls at the range, like TJ wants to. He's like, I'm not starting this round until I at least hit 80 balls.
The round's at
He can
12:30.
go
I'll be there
peel
at
off.
9:30.
Yeah, you can go peel off and go to the range while, the other guys are still having another round. That's the best part of Isabella's, is that you can sneak off and go warm up. You park the golf cart in front of the restaurant. So they're playing Talon, and maybe they grab a couple more drinks right at that little hut before they go to the tee. And the manicured fairways and greens are mint. It's perfect. It's hitting all the Scottsdale golf check marks. Also, this is a perfect course to play Banker or Wolf or some other individual game where I don't recommend a two-man scramble on this. I recommend playing, let's see how I fare on this course versus everyone else. But individually by hole, we could figure out something.
Speaking of money, Massey, how much is the tee time at Greyhawk Talon in March on a Friday?
This is going to run you at $395. But hey, North Scottsdale or anywhere in Scottsdale in March.
I mean,
higher than that.
Book it now because it could go higher.
Yes,
we rated Raptor as a must play, and we had nothing but good things to also say about Talon. Yes. I'm sure that if we rank Talon, all of the things that it passed that were not the golf course, it's also going to pass, and then the course is just as good. So consider it official stamped must play without us doing the actual episode.
And Greyhawk gets overlooked on Scottsdale golf trips, I feel like, because everyone wants to go play, one of you might say in this pod, Troon, Boulders, one of the further north courses, but Greyhawk gives you all of that for cheaper, usually, and right off the freeway, so it's easy to get to. You don't have to leave super far in advance. You have time. You guys are probably hungover on this day, so this is the smart choice. Okay, the boys finish their round. They right around sunset. They have a couple post-round beers at Phil's Grill. Do not skip Phil's Grill. Sit there, have one there. It's a perfect, great place. After that, they're going to hop in an Uber that takes them back to the Airbnb. They're going to change, drop off their clubs. TJ probably knows where I'm going with this. They're going to take a quick 10-minute ride over to Salt River Fields because they're going to catch the 6:40 p.m. Rockies spring training game against the Rangers.
Hold on.
What is better than a day of golf and spring training? I mean, this is the perfect Friday. They grab some Sonoran dogs or tacos at the game. They have a laid-back game and an awesome atmosphere. It's outdoors. The nighttime air is perfect. They're still wearing shorts. And the group decides to take it easy tonight because they have a big day tomorrow. And that's the rest of that's the day. You just go golf and go to spring training and don't worry about too many other things. You're eating at the course and you're eating at the ballpark.
Okay. Pro tip, go with lawn seats at Salt River Fields.
Oh, 100%.
There's no the beauty of spring training is being able to sit on grass and watch baseball and kick your feet up, lay down. You're taking the game as serious as the guys on the field are. The pros are, at least the guys who have already made the team. I love this day. I think this is an absolute great Friday. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I have two things that I'm very bashful about. One, you said it, Massey. I spaced Greyhawk. I don't know how I forget about that golf course. It's so good. And I don't know. So I'm with TJ. No notes there. And then spring training is my other one. I wish spring training. I was thinking about golf and drinking and all that stuff. Spring training's ideal. You nailed that.
You're coming out in March. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I will say spoiler alert, I have no spring training in my lineup. And that's a miss. If you're coming out here in March, you got to do spring training. It's an absolute must.
Okay. Well, it's your turn.
Wow. Shit. All right. So I actually named Friday Payday because it's a big day. Yeah. This is the day that we're going all in, right? We're going to have some fun. That's right. So I'm with Shawn. There's no early morning golf. We're going to take it easy. And I actually put down, there's going to be some hungover guys. There's going to be some active guys. I actually wrote down a hike camelback. Now, bear with me. I'm not the biggest fan of hiking camelback, but I will say it is an unbelievable thing to do when you're out here. And it is one of those things that's kind of touristy. I get it. But if you can get yourself up to the top of that thing and see that view, it's worth every bit of pain that comes with it. It's an awesome, awesome view.
You're right.
So,
someone in the group is going to be up for doing that. There's going to be two guys that are probably like, are we doing this tomorrow? We should do
It's not for everybody, right? Like golf trips are not for everybody. This is not for everybody. But it is a really cool thing that I think if you're out here and you've got the energy, go do it.
It's for the guys who bring their own water bottles on trips. Because if you're going to hike camelback, you need to be able to bring your own water bottle. Do not bring the little Kirkland signature flimsy cap squishy bottle to hike camelback, please.
Yeah. But it's cool. And then we're going to go, I'm actually going to go with a brunch, which I know is very basic. Bear with me. I'm married. I got a couple kids. We're going to do brunch at the Henry. Henry's an awesome place for one. The food is absolutely phenomenal. They've got really great breakfast cocktails, like really great spot to just sort of chill out and get ready for the day. We're going to head back to the Airbnb. We're going to get ready for golf. Everybody's maybe have a couple cocktails at the Airbnb, and we're going to head out for a little. This is where my gambling comes in. Shawn knows this game. For anybody else out there, 7-Up. We're going to do snacks and 7-Up out at Papago before our afternoon tea time. We're going to play Papago in the afternoon. It's going to be perfect. We're going to watch the sunset from Lou's. Right, Lou's is the restaurant out there, and I'm telling you guys, it is about as good as it gets for a golf / bar and restaurant afterwards. Food's great, live music. It's a ton of fun. So we're going to get done. We're going to watch the sunset. We're going to have some beers. We're going to have food at Lou's. And then we are going to get in the Uber and we're going to drive up the hill. And this is when we're going to do our night golf at Grass Clippings. We're going to play night golf at Grass Clippings after Papago, have some beers in us. And there's going to be some serious gambling going on. 2-man scramble, whatever it is, basketball, whatever we want to do. We're going to go have some fun up at Grass Clippings and take in the evening before we head back to the Airbnb.
No day golf on day 2. Or
no day golf. Well, we take it easy in the morning to prepare ourselves for afternoon night golf.
I hate that you said 7-Up on the greens at Papago and having Lou's.
It'd take hours.
That's my next day, and I'm so pissed that you said that. Because I will back this 100%. Some of the most fun I've had is on that giant putting green at Papago.
My gosh,
it made my list. It is bar none the best putting area in Scottsdale.
One of the best putting greens in the valley for just like a normal putting green on a golf course. It's huge. It's got tons of undulation. You'll hit a putt. There's a couple holes there on that green where it looks like it breaks 1.5 feet, and it legitimately breaks 20 feet. Like, I don't know how it happens, but it's a blast.
Gonna bring out a few points here. One, pro tip: if you're gonna be the guys who hike camelback, you're gonna want to hike the Choya side, not the Echo side.
Great call there.
Choya side, like if you're doing Echo, you're gonna have to get your hands down on the rocks and like do a little like almost actually rock climbing. There's a point where it's so steep, there's a handrail there. Like that's not the vibe that you're going for. The last thing you want to do is roll an ankle on actual day one of a golf trip, right? So no bueno there. I absolutely love this trip. I have to give a tip of the cap to the Henry for 2 reasons. One, this podcast would probably not exist without the Henry. I used to work near the Henry, and I used to go over there and work at lunch sometimes. And a handful of times, Shawn would meet me with Jones when they were working at Pacific. And that's essentially what led me to get a job at Pacific, which then, 2, led me to meeting my now fiance. So those are the 2 tips of the cap to the Henry that would probably not be in this world if that restaurant did not exist. But
that's weird.
I know, right? When you think about the butterfly effect of all of that, right? Yeah. So love that, and obviously, I second Grass Clippings. I second Lou's. For a second, this was eerily similar to a trip that we actually did earlier this year, where we played Phoenician in the afternoon and then went and got dinner at Lou's and then played grass clippings after that.
Mm-hmm. Today.
So, very, very.
But we started early with the Phoenician, but
very early.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on no golf in the day, only because I'm such a fanatic of golf, where I'm the guy that like comes to the golf trip and the word golf in the front is what I'm thinking about, not the second word trip. So I'm like, where's the golf? Like, I need the golf.
Yeah, but when your day 2 was like golf?
It was a full 18 at Greyhawk. But I agree. Once you said grass clippings, and I forgot that wasn't in your day 1, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you are getting 18 holes still. You're getting the par 3 course plus the putting on the green. So it made up for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Henry,
we're playing Papago. No, hold on. We're playing Papago. Yeah. Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Rewind the tape. No, we play Papago. We finish at sunset. We do the putting and 7-Up stuff before the round. We go out, we play, finish at sunset, dinner, up to grass clippings.
Oh, okay. That changes things.
Okay.
Now I really like this day.
Yeah, hey, that's on me if I forgot. No, we're playing Papago.
How much is Papago, do you think, in March?
Well, I know Papago is $219, which, all things considered, that's a great golf course.
It's not the worst for this trip. I mean, I said $395 for Greyhawk, so
yeah.
Okay, that's a solid.
The worst is $179 for Mount Chaps. Tough buy.
That's tough. That is a tough pill to swallow.
All right,
TJ,
I'm gonna dive into my Friday here. All right, so we're assuming. Oh yeah, I get a snake. I get Friday and Saturday here. All right, so Friday. Again, we are going to assume that some people still drank too aggressively at the Airbnb. It's going to happen. There's no avoiding it. It's some of the guys' only reprieve from their families all year long, so they're going to go for it. So for breakfast, formerly known as Delish, now known as Delight, it is drive-through breakfast spot. Bonus points if your Airbnb is within walking distance in Old Town Scottsdale. Because I would I love a good kind of like hungover walk the next day. Maybe you do it with a beer to try and kind of take the edge off. Maybe you guys just send like 1 or 2 guys to go pick up food for everybody. And you're the MVP for the rest of the trip when you bring back like breakfast Sammys for everybody at the Airbnb and people wake up to that.
Yeah.
Here is the order at Delight. You are going to order a Cali Club, add a hash patty to it. Okay?
Correct.
You are also going to have a Breakfast Buzz standard.
Yep.
Breakfast Buzz.
You don't go without ordering that.
It is a chocolate peanut butter coffee protein shake. You don't stray with your almonds, your soys, your oats, whole milk. You're going to need the calories. You're going to need the protein because guess what? We're also playing Talon Course today. Same day. Shawn and I run a golf course podcast for a reason.
We have the same day 1 and day 2 courses.
Same course on the same day, back to back.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see what day 3's course is.
The full experience at Greyhawk is bar none. Phenomenal practice facilities. Can't say enough about Isabella's Kitchen over on the Talon side. You can grab the beers. The guys can practice if they want to practice. You could even grab a few. I'm sure you could grab a beer and take it out to the range too. Probably not a glass, but you can shoot the shit out while your buddy's hitting balls. It's going to be great. And then again, don't sleep on Phil's on the Raptor side. Grab a beer, but you don't need to have too much because we're not going far from Greyhawk for our dinner option. This was an afternoonish tea time, so we're giving ourselves ample time to get up there. I was thinking around anywhere between 11:30 and 12:30, so we're probably getting off of Greyhawk 4:35, have a beer, 5:36. We are going to go over to the new Trevor's Liquor over off of Mayo Boulevard.
Oh, the pizza spot.
Is that the pizza spot? Yeah.
So, 2 things. 1, the Trevor's that is in Central Phoenix is a Dave Portnoy one bite review 8.3. If you know anything about Dave and his pizza reviews, the man does not hand out 8s or 8 pluses. So this is a good pie. So this currently right now is an 8.2 on one bite. It's only on a handful of reviews, but I'm going to assume that they opened up this one later. So I think they're bringing a lot of the things that they learned from the one that they opened up in Phoenix over to this one.
Yeah.
Side note, this Trevor's location also has golf sims. So
what?
Yes.
That's
wow.
So if you want to go
this.
full degen, you can continue to play more golf and gamble on more golf at a very leisurely rate and pace. And with
that's Mike and I right there.
Oh my gosh, all day.
All day. You could sit up there and just throw a pitching wedge out there and play closest to pin for as long as you want.
Yeah.
You can
Which I would.
Whatever.
Wait, Mike. Sorry, TJ, interrupt. Mike, what course are we plugging in? I want you to think of the course and let's say it together on 3. Let's see if we pick the same one, okay?
Oh my gosh.
I'll count you guys off. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Tell me when you're ready, but not too long.
No, I'm ready. I'm just I'm nervous.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Pebble.
Yep.
Pebble. Yeah, Pebble 7, right? Like that was the first thing that came to my mind was that everyone's going to put Pebble 7 on and go for aces. Like anytime anyone does a hole-in-one challenge on a sim, they put up Pebble 7.
Yep.
This sounds great.
Okay, so that
sounds like a dream.
That's where you're going to wrap up, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put everybody back in the cars. You're going to go back. You're going to drop all the clubs off at Old Town, and then for a nightcap, it's March. There's probably some great basketball on. We're going to head over to Zips in Old Town. We're going to get a little taste of the electricity of Old Town without actually dipping in on a Friday night. You might get some people popping in before they're going out. You might get some people walking down Camelback and you can see people doing it. But then this way you get that nice sports bar feel. Zips has some good late night eats, great prices on beers. And then obviously you're in Arizona, so you can probably fire up the old Prize Picks or FanDuel or DraftKings if you want to try and cook up some parlays with the boys and just kind of round out the night.
Yeah.
Bonus points if you can get a golf cart home to your Airbnb somehow from Zips.
Depends upon where you live, but yeah, you can sneak one. You can sneak one back pretty far into South Scottsdale. I've definitely forked over some cash for a golf cart ride home.
A lot of people don't know that happens, and they're blown away when they see golf carts roaming around on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Zips is such a good call. That's a great call. Their golden medium wings are a must. Their big
if you want to do like
awesome.
If you want to just do something for like the boys, order golden medium wings. Order like a Monaco focaccia that's like cut up into 5 pieces. Order some chips and salsa. Have a zipperita. Definitely have
chicken skewers.
Chicken skewers, like. Just we could go on all day about Zips. Zips is an Arizona Phoenix staple. Like
it is.
The one in Old Town holds a dear place to my heart.
Margarita's so good they'll only serve you, what is it, 3?
3.
Yeah.
Chambord and tequila, right?
They're strong.
All right, TJ, let me just say this. On the Trevor's thing, I wasn't on board. I was like, okay, I could see it. And then you said the Sims, and I flipped so hard. I was like, that's such a great choice.
It was
hats
off. I had to like reach out to like, obviously I don't live there, so I haven't been there, but I had to like reach out to friends who like live in that area and be like, hey, is this one, like, is the pizza also just as good at this one as it is at this other one? Because I know that this one has Sims and is really close to Greyhawk. Like it's on the other side of the freeway. Like it's over off of Mayo. Like it's not even that. Like it's if you wanted to, you could walk with your bag on your back.
Yeah,
I would recommend it, but it rounded out just perfectly.
Okay, roll into your day 3 and don't you dare say the same course I'm picking on day 3.
Okay, so day 3 we're gonna do a proper morning breakfast in Old Town. We're going to do Daily Dose. We're not going to do some of the more popular breakfast spots. We're not going to do Morning Squeeze. We're not going to do Breakfast Club. I think there's a little bit of the aesthetics of those that play up to that a little bit. I think Daily Dose is your best bet to get a good amount of food in you without a ton of weight, because I know that you're going to have a tea time, and enough greasy, goodish food that's going to kick that hangover. I think they have like a hangover burger that's just absolutely like phenomenal. That's got like a fried egg on it. They do like a nice country potato that I also absolutely love. So it's a little bit further off of like the traditional Old Town beaten path, so you can probably also get in and out a lot easier. But have a sit down brunch with the boys. You probably drank a decent amount yesterday, so you're gonna want it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another afternoon tea time here. This time, Massey drumroll. I'm just kidding. We're gonna do Camelback Golf Club.
Which one?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was gonna say dealer's choice here. I think Ambiente and Padre offer two different styles that, depending upon where you're coming from, you want to play the opposite of what golf looks like where you're from. So I think with one of those, you've got to kind of choose. They're both very similar in price. They're both around $250 at this time.
Padre's
or at least
$250?
No, Ambiente is usually way more than Padre.
Is it?
At least
Okay.
$50.
We did our best research. Most of these tea time prices are coming from January.
I'm going to need you to tell us which course you're telling people to go to.
I'm going to lean towards Ambiente.
That's the right choice. If you had said Padre, I was going to shit all over
it. I might have just ended the podcast right there.
Just hang up.
Okay. If you're going to ask for our recommendation, I'm going to go Ambiente. But I know some people might be like, I've played golf courses like this before. Padre looks cool. Let's play Padre. Not same place. You can make that decision. Okay. So once we're done there, going back to the Airbnb, we're also going to do a proper boys' dinner because it is our last night. We need to, for lack of a better term, ball out. So we need to have a nice dinner. My favorite nice dinner spot, and I know some people might crap on this, some people might not. I love Olive and Ivy in Old Town. Generally on the weekend evenings, they've got like a DJ. So like bringing your group of 8 boys in or girls is not going to be like too loud or too disruptive, but you can get nicely dressed up. You can get a phenomenal meal. They've got an incredible bacon wrapped pork tenderloin that every time I go, I say, I'm not going to order the bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. And then every time I sit down, I order the bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. And then guess what? It's Saturday. It's our last night. We're doing Old Town. We're gonna put ourselves right in the circle of death, and we are going to try and black out because tomorrow
which side of Scottsdale Road?
We are going on the east side of Scottsdale Road. So
you're going to the college bars.
Yeah, dinner is on the west side at Olive and Ivy, and then we are going to put ourselves right in the heart of it. We are going to do
just to the lines.
We're going to do Bottled Blonde. We're going to do Riot House. We're going to do El Jefe. We're going to do. It's been so long since I've been, and sometimes I like yearn for like, man, I still wish that I like wanted to do this all the time, or I had this ability to.
You could just go walk the streets if you wanted to do that too.
You can. I mean, people watching is incredible. I will also say, depending upon what group of guys that you are with, if you want to get a table, you can get a table. I don't love getting a table. I'm not a big table guy. With one exception. I like having a table because I like to actually like dance and listen to music. And having a table at a busy bar affords you the ability to kind of like get a little bit of your own space and like kind of feel yourself a little bit. So table or not, table will also help you skip a lot of lines. If you have one friend who is the rich buddy on the golf course and says like, no, we're not waiting in this line. Yeah. And then he'll go and like buy the table for everyone. So yeah, that's going to be the nightcap for that. It's our last night. So we're going to go hard that night. Like we're probably not going to bed until 2. And then there's multiple places to get a good late night eat in Old Town.
So Joe's Pizza?
Tacos. There's Joe's, there's Gus's. Yeah. I'm a fan of all of them. I don't think, I think at that point, if you have opinions about pizza, you haven't drank enough yet. So
that's good. Great point.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the full nightcap for Saturday for me.
Okay. Notes.
Olive and Ivy's great. No, I was just going to say, I love that, especially in March. It's all jazzed up there by the canal. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. So I love the Olive and Ivy.
People who haven't been to Scottsdale, when they hear the word canal, they're like, what are they talking about? But like, think about like San Antonio, when like people say, oh no, all the good restaurants are along the canal, the river. It's like that. Yeah. It's the spot. I had Olive and Ivy on my list and I took it off. But I was like, no, that's the place to be in Old Town if you're like going to dinner. I will say Ambiente, good choice. I like it. Not the most deserty of golf. So like if you're going for desert golf, but you did have Greyhawk the day before, so I could see the complimentary there. Yeah. However, on your night after Olive and Ivy, when you go to the east side of Scottsdale Road, that's when your group would be like, where's Shawn? I would have peeled off.
Yeah. And I think I think that's what I was like trying to like subtly plan about is like, let's do a nice dinner for all the guys who enjoy a nice dinner. And like, let's have like a good cocktails, good food. And if that's when you want to peel off, you can go to bed or you can go back to the Airbnb knowing like, okay, like we did a proper dinner tonight, and not like, oh, we just kind of fizzled out. Like, no, we did a proper dinner. The guys who want to peel back off and have a whiskey neat at the Airbnb before they tuck into bed, they can do that. And for the guys who want to go, for the guys who are maybe still single, they can go, you know?
That's true. I have some breaking news on Bottled Blonde, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I played around with the guy who runs marketing for Bottled Blonde, and we're getting to know each other because I'm like, I want to get in the tent at the Phoenix Open. Like, I got to get tickets. I get to know this guy. Bottled Blonde will not be at the Phoenix Open in 2025.
You heard it here first, folks.
The whole incident with cutting off alcohol last year, everything, not a good look. Bottled Blonde does not want to pay the fees, and they are not willing to do what the Thunderbirds want them to do. So
were they the big culprit on that?
They were one of the culprits, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's tough luck.
They were over serving, so then they
were over serving and they got slapped, and then apparently Thunderbirds raised the fees on them and they didn't want to pay it, so they're not going to be there in 2025.
Yeah, the Phoenix Open, we could do like a whole podcast on this. Phoenix Open's going to look weird this year because they did they just start letting people in? They weren't even like checking credentials. They were just letting people in, and then everybody was over serving, and there was like 200,000 people on the golf course. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
People passing out. And it's tough.
Yeah. People every once in a while through our Instagram and people who I meet, they're like, oh, you're from Scottsdale. Like, how sick is the Phoenix Open? And I was like, it was sick like 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And right now it's only sick if you have box seats.
That's exactly right.
And don't have to deal with GA. Like I haven't been in probably 4 or 5 years. Obviously I've moved out of state, but like my birthday's right around that time. I'm usually back in town around that time. And I'm like, I will only go if I have box seats. And I know that sounds snooty of me, but it's just not, it's actually not an enjoyable experience to just be in GA.
You'd understand if you'd never been and then went there 100%. With GA, you'd be like, this sucks. There's too many people. It's a mess.
Especially on Saturday.
They've let it get a little out of hand, which is really too bad.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what's not too bad?
Great job on Saturday there.
Mike
Shawn, this one's for you. I'm so happy that I get to go first here. I'm going a little off script. But that's fine. Before Shawn.
Okay.
Because I'm going a little off script here because this is my East Valley. So for those of you that know Phoenix at all, I live in Gilbert, it's the East Valley. This is my East Valley, my homage to Gilbert. We're going to start the day off at Buongiorno's Bagels. Yes, sir. We're going to start off at Buongiorno's Bagel. You get whatever you want. They got breakfast sandwiches, ham, cheese, bacon, eggs. They've got the regular bagels. These guys are from New York. They literally have a New York water machine at this place. Their bagels are
whatever the
fuck
notch. That means.
So I
don't know what it means either.
Old Town going to Buongiorno's? They're going all the way to Gilbert?
Are we on the same golf trip? Yes, we're in Scottsdale. I know this is a drive. If you're in Scottsdale, this is a drive. That's what I'm saying. I'm going a little off script.
Okay.
So Sue me. This is my East Valley run here.
It's worth
Buongiorno's
it.
Bagels.
I will say it's worth it.
It is. I'm not like some bagel connoisseur that drives all over town to get bagels, but I would put them up against any bagel in town without tasting them. They're unbelievable. So we're going to go Buongiorno Bagels because we got a little bit of a drive. We're going to head down to Southern Dunes. This is pure. This is like, what? It's my trip.
I know.
TJ's thinking logistically of the driving from Gilbert.
I'm thinking,
yes.
And I'm also thinking like we at the top of this said like, don't get a car for this trip, and then you're like, hey, take an hour Uber and go play golf.
Go to Tucson. So anyway, don't listen to these guys. Go to Southern Dunes. It is if you're just like a golf purist, Southern Dunes is down in the middle of nowhere. Golf course is absolutely unbelievable, incredible facility, like driving range, putting green, the clubhouse, the restaurant, everything's amazing. So we're going to play that, whether Shawn or TJ want to or not, and then we're going to drive up.
Well, real quick, I will say Jones, when he was out here recently, stayed in the Old Town Arcadia area. He Ubered to Southern Dunes, and I thought he was nuts. I was like, how much was that Uber? It was $28.
What?
Somehow
what day of the week was it?
It was a Friday. He somehow Ubered for $28 down to Southern Dunes. So not that bad, apparently.
See, but I knew that, so that's why.
Yeah, you knew that.
Yeah, but if you
and you told Uber drive Buongiorno real quick.
Jones has got one set of clubs. You can put him in the back of a Camry. That's fine. You've got like 4 guys. You have to order an XL.
Okay, sorry to cut you off.
Forget the legit. All right, no, that's okay. Southern Dunes. Then we're going to come up. This is near and dear to my heart, and we're going to go have carnitas and margaritas at Isabel's Amor. It is a Mexican restaurant in Gilbert. That is, it's my favorite Mexican restaurant maybe ever. They've got these like carnitas, cheese crisps, and some of the best margaritas in town. They have like a whole tequila bar. It's amazing. So we're going to go fill up on food there, and then we're going to end our night. The last night out, we're going to go to Beer Barn over in Gilbert, have some great beers. Full Gilbert night. And then what is it? 100 beers on tap, and there's a ton of beers on tap. It's like all open. You sit on picnic benches. It's just it's a vibe. It's super cool. So we're gonna end our night there, and then head home the next day.
Okay, you sold me with the Gilbert night. Like I thought Buongiorno was like just maybe like a random thing, but then you circled back to Gilbert for Isabel's and beer. Okay, first of all, did Danielle put you up to this on the Isabel's
No,
thing?
I swear to you, she didn't. I swear to you, she didn't. Isabel's is legitimately one of my favorite restaurants. I love it so much.
Okay, Shawn, we're going to put a disclaimer on this podcast.
Yeah, can you give some background a little bit to the listeners at home?
Mike's wife is the director of marketing for Isabel's in Sombrero.
She's a VP of marketing. She'd kill me.
VP,
if I didn't correct it. VP of marketing. All that aside, I didn't say Sombreros. Isabel's is amazing. Family, time-tested Sonoran. What did she tell me to say?
Are you reading off a website?
It's so good. It's so good. Legitimately great.
Hey, Sombreros already had a feature on our YouTube channel with the 2024 Open that we played.
That's right. They did.
Let's go watch that.
They're going to have to cough up some scramble tea times if we want another feature.
Yeah, getting a plug.
I love that.
Okay, I will say real quick, Southern Dunes, I just said this in episode 9 when we did Southern Dunes. People sleep on Southern Dunes. And I think I legitimately, if we play it back, said people are going to think about Quintero or Troon, but what they should do is go down to Southern Dunes because you're going to get more bang for your buck on the price. And the course is immaculate, like you said, and it is so one of a kind. So I will commend you for having the courage to send this group down to Southern Dunes.
Thank you, Shawn.
Yes. As we rated it, certified must play on episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little out of the way. Me as the planner only can only think about the logistics of the Uber to a bagel place, the Uber from a bagel place to Southern Dunes, the Uber from Southern Dunes back in, the Uber from Gilbert into Old Town. Like, it feels cumbersome, but I can't disagree that you're not going to enjoy yourself at Southern Dunes.
That's a great day. That's a great
golf
day
course
of golf.
At every spot.
Yeah.
I don't. I am not as. I'm not as much of a East Valley guy as these two are. I'm sure if I moved back to Arizona at some point, we'd probably end up in the East Valley. So I'd maybe become familiar with more of these spots. So I unfortunately cannot speak to the restaurant recommendations in this portion of the podcast.
Well, hell of a day, Mike. That's a great day.
Thank you.
Okay. Saturday. I go Saturday and Sunday here. I'm going to wrap up
Sunday.
my itinerary.
Oh, that's
Oh, by the way, how much was Southern Dunes, Mike?
Oh, Southern Dunes was, hold on, I got it here, $275.
That's a good deal. That's March.
Welcome to Arizona. Yeah.
That's a lot of golf.
Here's your $100 Uber.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to catch you guys up, my Friday, they went to a spring training game the night before. They didn't go too crazy. So.
This man's still trying to tell the full story. He's trying to tell the full narrative.
Just cut these other guys out and put my story together. Saturday morning, the guys are refreshed. They're ready to go low. Today's all about golf. This time the plans are simple. They're going to go play 18 holes on the Saguaro course at Weekapaw in Fountain Hills.
That's a drive as well. But
from Old Town, it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a drive from Old Town. Yeah.
Is it not that bad?
TJ, go
look. 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
It's not that bad.
It's not too bad.
Keep talking.
They're going to take an Uber over to Weekapaw, and they're going to grab a late breakfast at the grill there that they have on property. Maybe they order the giant breakfast burrito or the green chili pork enchiladas with over easy eggs, whatever it is. Don't sleep on the grill at Weekapaw. It is a legitimate restaurant just attached to a golf course, and it's really, really good. And you're going to need energy because they're going to have a 10 a.m. tee time on the Saguaro course. Now, both courses are excellent, but Saguaro would be, I think, unanimously the better pick. You're going to get immaculate greens, overseeded rye fairways, no blemishes. When I say desert golf, you are in the middle of the desert. No homes around this course, 4 peaks out in the distance, the Salt River and all the mountains right there. It's like we're out here. It's gorgeous. There's no homes, like I mentioned, and there's plenty of wildlife. If you go Google this course, like coyotes are like the first 5 photos on this course.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to get the spiel about snakes from the marshal at this course.
And for good reason. For good reason. Yeah.
Great halfway house at Saguaro. Like, definitely take advantage of that. After you finish the round at Saguaro, you're going to hit the patio for some post-round beers. You're going to take in some unbelievable afternoon views of the mountains and 4 peaks in the distance. And the guys are at this point realizing it's the end of the trip. It's near. But they're not worried because tonight's going to be great. They're going to Uber home, relax for a bit, finish off maybe some of those beers from Fate that they still got in the fridge. And this time they're just going to go grab their putters because, like Mike said, they're going to head over to Lou's at Papago to go play some 7-Up on that course or go make some bets. So vibes are high. Gambling from the other rounds has made some guys thirsty to win some of their money back. They are going to take advantage of the sunset hitting the Papago Mountains, just bright orange and like the craziest colors from there. You can actually see some of Phoenix from that patio as well because it's on a hill. It's just so beautiful. Great scene. And then when they finish eating, they're going to take their beers to go across the lawn on the punch bowl style green, and they're going to start betting 50+ foot putts across the green. Who cares who else is on the green? You're going cross country through everybody else's lines. And you're making bets on every pin sometimes. Like when Mike and I play, you play 7-Up, but then 7-Up's over and you're like, I bet I can get closer to that pin. And then it's like, okay, and it begins. And now it's like $5. Something's going on. Crazy undulation. But where else can you you just played golf earlier, just grab your putter and go hang out at Lou's. Like it's the perfect spot to just end the night. And I originally had Olive and Ivy, like I mentioned, but I would be remiss if I didn't have at least one Old Town place in this list. So they've had plenty of stuff to eat and drink at Papago. They go back to the Airbnb. Some guys probably might want to stay, but I recommend the group Ubers over to Citizen Public House.
Oh.
And at Citizen Public House, go cozy up to that bar. If you didn't go to the Airbnb, who cares? Bring your putter with you. It's just a putter. Put it next to you at the bar. Great conversation starter. Citizen Public House, let me just say this. If you didn't eat enough at Papago, has some of the best bar snacks you can get anywhere. They have a bacon washed popcorn that is like crack, and it's endless. It's bottomless popcorn at the bar. And so you just eat this bacon washed popcorn or whatever you want, pretzels with cheese dip, everything else that you could think of. But it's like a nice restaurant. Like it's weird. The bar's in the middle. It's fancy all around you, but in the middle is like people who just stopped in. Bartenders are excellent. You're going to get a cocktail here. You're going to get some like smoked old fashioned, or you're going to get some like really cool, like only you can get there type drink. Ask them what you are into and like they'll make you a drink. I think it's a great place to end the night and have a nightcap. It is not the east side of Scottsdale Road. It is not where TJ just sent you guys.
No. It's the Olive and Ivy side of the road.
It's the opposite. It's the winding down. It's the crowds thinning out at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., but they're open late. And so you and the bartenders are just yakking it up at the bar.
To be fair, that is right around the corner from Kelly's, which Kelly's is a popping late night spot in Old Town. To be fair,
that is true.
If somebody wants to splinter off but not go into the circle of death, or if you want to roll it into maybe something. And also, sneakily, Kelly's has a putting green on the side of their bar.
Yes, it does. And Citizen Public House is right next to Olive and Ivy and all that stuff too. So you could walk over there if you really wanted to at the end of the night. But at this point, I'm thinking you've been on your feet most of the day. So it's, you just want to sit at the bar, have a couple drinks. And it's a great wind down to, I think, your last night at the trip. And you're legitimately like, I've been there. I've closed down that bar before. And I've been there after I went to Century Grand. Because Century Grand is an experience. But at Century Grand, what you don't know if you haven't been is that you have a timed slot that you're allowed to drink. There's I think it's like 50 minutes.
I think it's 45, but yeah, 45
and 50 minutes. You get kicked out literally of Century Grand after your time slot's up. And you don't just get to go circle back in. Like, you're done. So if you wanted to stay out, like, where do you go? So I've been multiple times to Century Grand, and I went to Citizen Public House, and you are just yakking it up with the guys, having a drink, and it's way relaxed. And then hopefully your Airbnb is close enough because you flag down a golf cart and you take a golf cart ride with your putter in your lap all the way back to your Airbnb. That's the ultimate end.
Because you've been carrying around your putter since you
everywhere you are. Everywhere.
You walked into Citizen with a putter.
Like Sean said, it's a great conversation starter.
It's a conversation starter. Dude, it's so good.
Fair.
I love the ending there. No, I love the wind down. Like, Citizens Public Houses are just a great place to chill, and great food, like you said, great drinks. It's a great way to end it. I have no notes there.
Notes from Zips in Old Town. We'll consider that the center of Old Town Scottsdale to Weekopah is 26 minutes. You can cut across the reservation. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
especially on a Saturday with like minimal traffic. So
probably that long to Greyhawk too. Actually,
not that bad. Yeah. I mean, Greyhawk's mostly all freeway.
Zips in Old Town is your central.
I mean, I just picked a kind of central Old Townish spot.
The Camelback.
Your Airbnb is probably over by Zips.
Yes. Yeah, it's off of Camelback. Or you're a little bit further south, and actually, even if you're further south, it's easier to get to the freeway because Camelback doesn't shoot all the way up to the 101.
Yeah,
it's like I live there.
47
from where
47
you're at.
minutes to Southern Dunes. No, 47 minutes to Southern Dunes. So it's an additional Zips? 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go.
Here.
Not wildly different. I like Lou's. I always forget about Citizen Public House just in general.
Yeah.
I think just because when I'm on that other side of Scottsdale Road, I think I'm always over at like Olive and Ivy. And for some reason we're at Dos Gringos or something or whatever, or Cold Beer Cheeseburgers or one of the other places. I just forget because it's that second road in. And I forget that it's there. But now that you've like literally reminded me, like I'm in town in a week and a half, and I'm like, that's not a bad place if Ashley and I just want to like grab a drink after a dinner one night.
It's a great place for that.
Or go for like happy hour. Like it's a very good place to do that. So I like that.
Assuming you guys don't have this on your Sunday, I'm surprised I was the only one with Weekapaw.
I don't love Weekapaw.
Really? Oh.
No, I don't love it. And I don't know. It's not my thing. It's like true north.
Yeah, you're a Muni guy. You're the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
For
Weekapaw,
me,
by the way, is going to run you $320.
I was going to ask how much the price is. So you went back to back pricey rounds. I would love to hear once you're done with Sunday what your total golf cost is.
You want me to tell you now?
Well, you haven't talked about your Sunday, or are you done with golf?
No, we're not done. You're
okay.
Sunday?
So hold on, just one last moment. The reason I omitted Weekapaw is that I feel like when you look at these lists of where to go play golf in Scottsdale or how to plan your trip, like we said, the Weekapaws, the Quinteros, they always come up. And the Greyhawks come up, and the Boulders and the True Norths. And I said, okay, we did this once. We already did. We allocated that playing something on the list was on Friday, playing Talon at Greyhawk. So I felt like on Saturday, I needed to go somewhere that's still a good golf course, but not exactly like at the top of all the lists where you read, here are the top 10 public courses in Arizona. Like, so that's the reason I omitted Weekapaw.
That's a good point. I think Talon at Greyhawk is actually a bit of a sleeper pick because everyone's playing Raptor or not Greyhawk at all. They're going past it to all those other courses we talked about. That's why I picked Weekapaw, because I was like, you have to have a headliner.
TPC.
If they're podcast listeners, they know not to sleep on
yeah, that's true. Okay, Sunday. Let me wrap up my itinerary for you guys. Morning. The group is on the struggle bus. Someone who was wise last night and stopped drinking early runs to Starbucks and grabs everyone their usual coffee and breakfast order with the gift cards probably sitting in their account on the app. And everyone makes their way out of the living room one by one slowly. I love this move because you've been having foreign things on this trip. You need familiarity before you head off to the plane. You're getting your Starbucks order. It's the same order wherever you live. And at this point, someone just goes, I'm going to pick up Starbucks. Is everyone like, what do you guys want? And then everyone will have an answer. And it's like, I'm centered again. it's I'm about to go back home. That's why I chose
familiarity.
Yeah. Yes. There is one more round of golf to be played on this trip, but don't worry, fellas. It's not a full 18 full course. It's a par 3 course, and it's Mountain Shadows.
Boom.
Mike and I had a lot of overlap here, and so did TJ and I. If you combine it, it's just right there. I mean, you already said a lot about it, but it's a gorgeous short course. It's set up against Camelback Mountain. It's close to the Airbnb. You're not driving somewhere far. You can check out of your Airbnb, take your luggage to Mountain Shadows. They are a hotel and resort as well. And I've seen people drop their luggage off inside and just say, I'm playing around. And they just leave it there behind the stand. So it is not a big deal to bring your luggage to this place. You drop everything off and you head out. And I think specifically here, you play Banker. It's a par 3 course. It's great shot value. The greens are undulation or tons of undulation and like crazy designs. A bunker in the middle of a green, for example, on one of the holes. I think you like start betting on each hole. But if the group is done betting, like you've had your fill of gambling, 4-man scramble, go low, see if you can hit 14 under on this course. Like, set a target and just go see if you can do it. You can do either one. Choose your flavor on this, but I definitely think you do something.
14 under at Mountain Shadows.
We could do that. 4-man?
Oh, if you have 4-man, yeah, sure.
4-man? We all have
you're
hitting a green and making a putt.
I was say you're banking on
some of those greens are
one person throwing a dart every hole.
Yeah, I'm banking on 4 of those greens being diabolical, and we're going 14 under, not 18 under. Okay.
You're correct.
So that tee time is going to be around 11 o'clock. And at this point, it's the end of the trip. But just head held high because the group knows they did Scottsdale right. You ended at Mountain Shadows, and the airport's close. So you're just heading straight back to the airport, dapping everyone up. Hey, great trip. See you guys again next year. Or maybe 2 of the guys live in the same area. Who knows? But I think you start and end on par 3s, and you play the big rounds in the middle. And I like that as an end cap to my round because It's a little easy intro into golf, like TJ and I had. And on your way out, it's I barely got that much juice left. I don't need to make a full swing. You're not going to pull out anything longer than like a 5-iron at Mountain Shadows, so you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mike. You barely hit more than 7 at Mountain Shadows. All right.
I think the longest hole is like 190.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a 8-iron for you guys.
Yeah.
It's 8-iron for all of us, right?
That's 6. I did 6 from 190.
Irregardless of hole length, I love it's early, it's cold.
Yeah, and not warmed up.
Yeah, exactly. I like the familiarity play. For a guy who does not love Starbucks because Starbucks is the same bland coffee everywhere, like it's the same reason Denny's been in business for so many years is because you can go to any Denny's across the country and it tastes just like the Denny's that's at your hometown. But I like the recentering of like let's not have anybody. We've probably all hit decision fatigue at this point with all the gambling that's going on in this trip.
Yes.
So let's not make me decide or look at like a wake up that early. I'm a little hungover and I've got to look at like a menu and try and figure out like what I'm gonna order. Like, hey man, I'm going to Starbucks. Like, what's your usual? And slap any of your friends who say they get a cake pop for breakfast.
Yeah, you don't order a cake pop. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, no.
I love it.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, you want my total for the end?
I was going to say, what's your price for Mountain Shadows, and then what's your total?
115, and congratulations, fam. I kept it under $1,000. That's $955 of golf.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
115, 320, 395, and a 120. That's under $1,000.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay. I actually did not have Sunday planned, but I'm going to wing it because I had a course that was sitting on my list that I was thinking about how to work in here, and this actually works really well. It's one of my favorite courses in all of Phoenix. It's right next to the airport, so it makes sense on the way out. I love Legacy. Great food, really great food. They've got a great little, like it's halfway house isn't really the term, but they've got a little house down at the bottom of the hill. They've got a lot of great beers, a lot of great drinks. Nothing super fancy as far as like drinks and food is concerned, but it's really good. It's greasy to kind of soak up all that booze from the week. And then the great thing about Legacy is it's a resort course, and so it's not super deserty. It's fairly gettable, so you can go out there and do like a 2-man scramble, and just kind of have a couple Bloody Marys, get yourself back centered. Like Shawn said, there's not a lot of trouble out there. No one's making big scores, so it's just a great way to kind of end the week on a nice, relatively easy round of golf with the boys before you head. I mean, the airport's 10 minutes away, so you hop on a plane and head back home.
Great choice on Legacy. I don't think TJ's ever played there.
I have not played Legacy.
It's so
if
good.
I were to think like if I was going to play like a course that's like a little closer to the airport, that's not grass clippings. I was like, maybe you'd like sneak over to like Biltmore, and that's kind of just like a straight shot like across the 56, but
or Papago.
Or Papago too, yeah.
I mean, Raven's right there too, but I don't know. There's just something about Legacy that I just love that golf course.
I agree with you. Plus, Raven's going to be very expensive in March.
Yeah.
You're going to find Legacy at least $100 less than Raven, and you're going to get similar shot value on that course.
For sure.
I definitely think Legacy is worth one of our future must play episodes.
Ooh, I love that. I volunteer.
Yeah, I know you love that course. That course definitely feels Muni adjacent in terms of like the conditions and like everything else, but it offers way more than a Muni comes. It's like you're going to get all the nice things, but you're going to get a better value at that course than you are. At
It's on an old cotton field, so like the conditions are always pure. The greens are so good. I think receptive and running at like 11. Just so good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You know what's interesting about your itinerary? Not a single round in Scottsdale.
Well, no, I had Mountain Shadows.
That's PV.
Mountain Shadows is PV and Grass Clippings is 10p.
And so Pop Go.
So, well, Camelback Scottsdale.
No, that's Paradise Valley too.
Yeah,
but
Is it
Greyhawk
really?
Scottsdale.
and Greyhawks Scottsdale anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Right. That's right.
How much does your trip cost? Let's assume
I,
Legacy, because you winged it, was probably like 2 something, I'm guessing.
yeah. So it came out to, I had it at 973. So just under 1,000, like Shawn. Actually, more expensive than Shawn. Crazy considering you had Greyhawk and Wego Pop, which is nuts. So that's very good planning on Shawn's part.
All right,
So,
Wrap us up, TJ.
close it out. First in, last out.
Remind us where we just left off on your trip.
So the boys went out last night. We did a proper dinner at Olive and Ivy, and then the guys who really
got
want
a
to
table
drink, the guys who really
Yeah.
want to drink, got a table at Riot House and can't hear literally anything. They have tinnitus
Their
on
ears are
Sunday
ringing.
morning. So Sunday morning is going to be a little slow. We're going to make decisions a little easier. We're not going to go straight familiarity play. This is going to be TJ's ideal morning. We're going to swing by. We're going to do drive through, or we're going to walk over to Dutch Bros. We're going to grab coffee for the boys at Dutch Bros. I think Dutch Bros is a little bit more regional. Not everybody has it. I think it's a great iced Americano. That's their traditional black coffee. Or if you have the friends who like, something sugary and they need that sugar for the day, they can get that there as well. And then we are also going to do, Massey, go ahead. I see your finger.
Warning on the cold brew at Dutch Bros. Not many people know that it is the highest caffeine per milligram of any other cold brew.
Oh, it's a heart attack.
I used to get heart palpitations when I worked with TJ. We used to work above Olive and Ivy, and we'd go to Dutch Bros sometimes. I would bring in a can, and I'd be sweating at my desk thinking about it. I was like, I should stop drinking this.
Yeah. Just go with the iced Americano. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
If you need to order an extra shot, order an extra shot. But the nitro's a lot. And then Massey loves coffee, so he would also drink the nitro cold brew in like 30 minutes and be like, so if you're not a person who can make their coffee last 2 or 3 hours, it's going to be a problem. But for food on Sunday morning, I know you're going to be tempted because you're going to probably drive past it a bunch of times on Scottsdale Road to go to Super Burrito. That's right there next to Delight. Don't go to Super Burrito. You're going to want to go around the corner, and you're going to want to go to Fiesta Burrito.
Yes, I was going to spell Fiesta with
yes, sir.
You're going to want to go to Fiesta Burrito. I got fat on Fiesta Burrito alone, like big time. Breakfast burritos for the boys. My go-to is a bacon, add potatoes. So it's bacon, egg, cheese, add potatoes. Their red sauce, their green sauce. And make it easy. There's like 4 options for breakfast burritos for the boys. Just order a bunch of them. Bring them all back. You can pop it. You can pop in the front. They're open. Like if you're within walking distance of Delight for the California clubs and the breakfast buzzes, you're also going to be within walking distance of Fiesta Burrito. So you can pop over there, or if you want to weirdly rent an Uber and then go drive through, you can do that as well. And then after that, because we need the carbs are fueling us up for something. They're not just fueling us up to go to the airport. We are also going to play Mountain Shadows short course. Shawn and I went 3 for 4 on similar golf courses.
Oh man!
Hey, this is so good because we would be planning the same. Our brains are synced here on like a trip.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a good send off. It's not going to take up a ton of time. If people have earlier flights and they need to get home, that's cool. If there's people who stretch that flight out to like a 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., they can play that 11 o'clock tee time, and they're totally going to be okay. I had Mountain Shadows down here at a 118 price point, so extremely similar to Shawn's 115. Yeah. My total here was 869. What I will say is that your Greyhawk price and my Greyhawk price differed by about $20. So we can bump that up to 890. How far do you think I'm off on Ambiente at 250?
Off Ambiente
$50 to $75.
Okay, so less than 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
250.
So
yeah, it shouldn't be 350.
So with less than 100, that's still going to bring you in somewhere between the $950 to under $1,000 range. All 3 of these trips are getting you out of here for less than $1,000.
Just discount golf here.
Yeah.
Buy the table, boys. You've got the
Well,
scratch.
I'm going to make this point in just a moment. I'm going to put a pin in it about the prices, but real quick, incredible that we went 3 for 4 on the courses in the order of our days.
That's wild.
Sorry for Mike people who are looking for a diverse amount of recommendations here.
Dude, came to the wrong
Mike and I having 7-Up at Papago and grass clipping, or and then saying Pebble at the same time on the sim. Like, it's clear that there is a bubble here that we're in, and apologies to our listeners, but like, this is what you should go do. But I will say also, Fiesta Burrito. I'm so glad you said that, because when you said, what was the other one? Super Burrito?
Super is
huge
thumbs down.
I was about to be like, shout Fiesta Burrito on this microphone. You said Fiesta. I was like, thank God, because that is the right move. I took Mike there after Mountain Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
We went and got breakfast burritos there, and incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. One thing I do when we were talking about like that area that none of us mentioned, if you're looking for someplace for lunch and it's not on the list, DeFalco's. Gotta go. It's right there. It's so unbelievable.
Yeah, I think most of our afternoons got gobbled up by golf, but DeFalco's is incredible. Yeah. It's been on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Like, it's an incredible Italian deli with incredible pizzas, incredible sandwiches.
So good.
So good.
Yeah. Okay, I know that we all picked what to do. This is on the spot. We hadn't planned this. Not because the course is not a good course, but just tell me, what's the one course that people should not book on this golf trip? Because it's either too crowded, the price is way too high, or it's overplayed, like whatever the course is. But it's not a knock on the course. Like, it's a decent course, but there's just one that you're like, no, that's the cliche, or the two, like, that's what everyone's going to do. What's that course?
I know mine.
What's yours?
It's TPC Stadium. It's
stadium course.
You like, by March, all the stands are going to be down, and it's still going to be jacked up super high. And I've played there, and I just don't see it. I know when we talked Southern Dunes, Jamie was real high on it, and I just don't see it. I think it's just an okay desert course, and without the stands, it loses all of its cool luster. Like, I played it, I got a par on 16, and I was like, cool, but it feels way less cool without a full enclosed stadium around it. Yeah.
I'll say this. There are 2 courses at TPC. Champions is the better course.
That's yeah. Mm-hmm. I would say, don't sleep on TPC as a whole. I would say go play Champions. Save yourself probably $150
at least. Yeah. The stadium's cool because
it's good of a time.
Yeah, you see it on TV, like 16, but it's a great call out. When the stands aren't there, it's like 16 is not that magical. And it's a fun course, but you're right. For the price that they're going to be charging in March, like, just skip it.
Yeah, I talk about it. We talked about it with Torrey all the time too, where honestly, I think Torrey Pines North is the better course, but South is the one that you see on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I think 15 on North is the better par 3 that goes over the water, or that faces the water, but everyone only takes photos of 3 on the South course, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, what's yours?
True North. There's that course is so
both courses.
I just think the whole thing is just, I don't know. Everybody talks about it like it's some amazing. You can get that course anywhere. If you're going to go play a difficult, scenic desert golf course for a high price that's out in the middle of nowhere, go to Quintero. In my opinion, it's 10 times the golf course. It's a better experience. Like, it's hard, right? But like, I just think True North is so, that's me. But again, I'm not a big, really expensive, fancy golf course. I'd rather go play Dobson Ranch, to be honest with you. Like, that's
100%.
Probably a hot take there, but
no, I mean, True North is nice, but like the rate in March, you're going to be paying close to $600.
Yeah, go play Pebble for that rate. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Shawn,
Okay. True North is a good answer. That popped in my head, but mine is for the same reason you wouldn't go eat at a restaurant in the gas lamp district when you all go to San Diego, because you're like you're not familiar with San Diego, and you're like, oh, we're gonna eat in the gas lamp, of course. And then you get there and you're like, we fell for it. This was the most touristy. Like it's only here because it's there. It's in the center. Whatever you can do, do not go play Silverado.
Okay.
So funny because I thought about this too. Go ahead. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Silverado is only going to jack up the rates and pretend that they are $200 plus course because of proximity to spring training and where they are in Scottsdale. They have no business charging that much money. I have no worry about ever reviewing Silverado on this podcast, so I'm going to say this without any guilty conscience. Just don't fall for it, okay? It is in between canals and in between homes. It is not kept up that well. It gets flooded whenever there's a rainstorm because it's in a wash. But people think it's right next to spring training, and it's here. It's close to McCormick Ranch and these other ones. So it's like, yeah, we booked Silverado. When I read on Reddit someone telling me their golf trip and that Silverado's in there, I just head and hands. I'm like, oh, these guys fell for it too. Like,
yeah.
How much are they charging? And I kind of like want it to be a high number so I can laugh.
This isn't going to shock you, but I love Silverado.
Of course you do.
I love it. I think it's always a good. It's different, right? It's not like a deserty golf. Yeah, it is definitely in canals, and there's like the tee shot on 10. They should just blow that entire hole up. But like,
tell them what the driving range in Silverado is, Mike.
Well, it's funny. There isn't one. You hit into nets. So look, I get it.
They at least have that. At least have that now. I also too have a soft spot in my heart for Silverado. Silverado is where I learned how to play golf. Like I worked up the street in the pavilions in the late 2000s at Sports Authority. Like first off, I grew up like around the wash that they built Silverado on. I remember when it was still the wash and it would flood. And I mean, sorry, Mom, we used to hide porno mags down in the wash where Silverado is. like it would be like, no, it's that third bush. Like there's a porn mag in there, and like one buddy would like hide it, and then we would get bummed when it would rain, and we would have the wash
waterlogged,
wash away. No, it would wash it all away.
Yeah,
we'd have to figure out a way to source another porno mag. This
Along
was before
with the
internet too. This was before the internet. But I learned how to play golf on Silverado because we could get off of work at like 2 and still go down and like book a tee time and like still finish a round of golf. And back then they only had the putting green. Like they didn't even have a net to warm up on.
Yeah.
We used to warm up at Sports Authority in the driving cage at Sports
and then
Authority,
go to Silverado.
And then go to Silverado. So I definitely like have a soft spot for it in my heart, but I also know that like it gets solely completely based upon location. It's
location is top.
It sounds like you have a hard spot at Silverado too.
I mean,
Heyo. See what you did there.
It was funny. I thought you were either going to say this. I knew you weren't going to say like Continental or Coronado because people aren't going to book those. Like they're going to look at them and be like, eh. I thought there was a chance that you might say Talking Stick.
That's what I thought he was going to say. Yep.
Just like don't fall into the guise of like every course that's associated with a casino is a good resort style course. Because I also know that a little inside baseball here. Shawn hates Talking Stick.
Well, okay, hold on. I don't hate Talking Stick necessarily. I just think it's overpriced.
Which is what I'm sorry. I knew that it was the right answer for the question that you were asking. Yeah. But then also like at the same time, if you do have the buddies who do want to aggressively gamble on a trip, it's probably the right course for you.
The casino.
Because you can do that. There's a Top Golf right across the street if you want to continue to do some golf. I don't know. I know most actual golfers are kind of out on Top Golf, but it's there.
They've got Pop Stroke there now, which
I had in one of my scenarios when I was going aggressive, I was like, then you're going to take the shuttle from the spring training game over to Talking Stick Casino and you're going to go gamble at the casino. I was going to do that, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to go
casino
too crazy on this.
Casino came off and on multiple times in my thought process of like, But I was like, you're only going to be in Old Town once. I was like, I feel like if you're going to do an aggressive night, you should probably just go to Old Town. Because also, like, admittedly, so I don't think there's any great places to eat at the casino. So you can't necessarily like do a dinner and then just like go down and gamble, you know?
Yeah. All right. Any other closing thoughts?
I mean, I'll kind of end this with how I end most of our podcasts, where, you know, these are just our opinions. If you agree with them or disagree with them, please go let us know on YouTube, on Instagram. It helps with the engagement. Share it with your friends and say, look at these morons who picked 3 out of the same 4 golf courses for their entire trip.
Well, you're going to put up a poll, aren't you? You're going to ask.
Yeah, we're going to try and figure out a way to see who you guys think won on these trips. We might just put up a poll and say, if you've listened to the most recent Must Play, who do you think won? Or we might figure out ways to kind of lay out the trips for those who maybe don't want to listen. But if you haven't listened, you're not at this point in the podcast. So
great point.
I don't know here.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had a little bit to drink. I think this is a sober discussion that I have to have with myself here tomorrow and figure out how we're going to do this. But we want you guys to vote. We want you guys to participate. We want to hear who you guys think had the better trip. Was it Shawn and I's near identical trip? One with a narrative, one with deeper cuts. Was it Mike's non-Scottsdale trip? Who was it? who really booked the best? At this point, we'll call it Arizona golf trip or Phoenix golf trip. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
all right.
You want to take us
thank
home?
you, boys, for having me on.
Yeah, Mike, it was great. You were the first guest, and it made sense to have you on this one. I think we were going to do more of these bonus round podcasts, maybe, once every 10 episodes, or like achievement unlocked almost, in a video game, I feel like. So we'll come up with a format, but hopefully people enjoy this.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
But our next one will be a course. But until then, have a great night. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Night, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Sleep tight.